Welcome. I hope your belief in the law of attraction is growing. Today, we're going to be talking about dealing with doubt. And I want you to remember that every variation already exists. But despite knowing this, even if we have had a deep understanding of this concept and you've already manifested other things into your life, doubt is something that can creep in. But I'm going to tell you what gives your doubt the power to stop your desires from manifesting and how you can easily stop that from happening and move forward knowing you are getting everything you want to manifest for yourself. If you find these videos helpful, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. By doing so, you really help the channel out and can be helping others as well by spreading this incredibly helpful information. When we're consciously manifesting, it is common for doubts to pop up. Sometimes that doesn't happen, and that's fantastic. But when it does happen, it can leave you feeling disempowered and sometimes hopeless, which is what we never want to happen. So when we think of having doubts about what we're trying to attract, it's important to realize that the thing that is fueling that doubt or disbelief is usually the amount of importance you are giving to that thing that you are trying to manifest. Doubt is normal, but when you give your manifestation too much importance, that's when you really fuel it and you can start to spiral away from your desired outcome. What I mean by giving your manifestation too much importance is that you are trying to manifest this thing with a sense of desperation. This usually feels like you're saying, I need to have this thing or I won't be happy. And that's kind of the feeling or vibration that you're putting out there. Now, you might not necessarily be saying that, and you might even be in denial about how strongly you feel about this, but somewhere deep down, if you're putting too much importance, what you're doing is essentially you're aching to have this thing so bad that you're telling yourself you will not be happy unless you get it. Again, this is why manifesting the free cup of coffee is easier than manifesting your dream home. Who really cares if you get a free cup of coffee, right? Deep down, you're thinking it's not that big of a deal if I don't get the coffee. So that's, what not giving too much importance to your manifestation looks and feels like. Of course, when most people try to manifest bigger, more expensive things, there is so much more resistance to that. This resistance comes not only from limiting beliefs you developed since you were a child through no fault of your own, but also from the importance you give it, so how bad you want it. The universe has a funny way of throwing obstacles in your way when you're not going with the flow and swimming upstream, no matter what you're trying to do. Try to make it to an event on time and stress about the traffic before you even start driving. See how that will go for you, right? Like, chances are that you will hit every red light, encounter road closures or delays due to an accident. Literally any number of possibilities that can delay you somehow all happen to occur at that moment of importance. You say to yourself, I need to get there, so there better not be traffic. Boom, terrible traffic. And I'm sure if you drive, you've experienced this. Or how about the person driving like a maniac, weaving in and out of lanes, to get where they need to be faster than everybody else. They weave in and out of lanes, they speed, they tailgate other drivers. They get more and more frustrated with everything, and no matter what they do, they end up at the same red light up ahead, or maybe just a few car lengths in front of you, but they've not only stressed themselves out, and now they're in rage, but they've also endangered the lives of everybody else around them for virtually nothing. Another great example is in sports. Have you ever watched a sports team collapse in the middle of a game? They were only down 1 point or goal almost the entire game when they fell apart, because they are trying too hard and now nothing is going their way. They're actually trying so hard and playing worse than they ever would have had they just calmly went on the attack to catch up instead of frantically running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Now they're losing by more points than they were before. I'm sure you get it. There's many examples that we can use. We can think of countless different scenarios of how importance can cause you to worry and doubt and create the opposite of what you want. So when in doubt, essentially you want to chill out, as corny as that sounds, and if you can stop rolling your eyes, here is how you can eliminate the doubts and decrease the importance you might be giving to your manifestation. Understand that everything exists already and tell yourself that it is normal to feel doubts once in a while. I'm sure even those who are really good at it experience doubt here and there when consciously manifesting. Remind yourself that, just because you're having doubts does not mean that you ruined your chance of manifesting what you want. You can still doubt and have everything you want, and without saying just be persistent, and ignore everything, because I'm sure it's a major eye roll when you hear people say just be persistent, but here's what you really must know. Okay, so you really have to know that you can still feel the doubt and get what you want. However, what you want to try and do is notice when you get that feeling and just don't give it any power. And there have been many people who manifest their dreams despite having doubts. I would argue that no matter how confident you are that something, will happen the way that you want, there might still be a flash of doubt that crosses your mind. The difference maker is how quickly you can silence that feeling or swat it away. One way to calm your anxiety about not manifesting what you want is to just ask yourself, regardless of circumstances, is it possible, in my world for somebody like me to have what I'm trying to manifest? So using a specific job as an example, is it possible that a person like me can have this job? If you feel any resistance to that question or a twinge of uncertainty, that is where you need to focus, because chances are there is a limiting belief somewhere in there about why you don't think you are worthy or capable of having this job. Again, we are not focusing on current circumstances. So if you don't have the money for a Ferrari now, is it possible in this world that someone can have a Ferrari even if they haven't had the money for one their entire life? Absolutely, right? Most people that own Ferraris did not have the money to buy that kind of a car earlier on in their life. Some people may have won the car in some kind of a lottery or a contest. The possibilities are endless, for how someone can come into the position of owning a Ferrari. So you need to apply this to whatever you are trying to manifest. Ask yourself, in this world, is it within the realm of possibility, knowing that every variation exists, that I can have what I want? And I'm telling you, the answer is yes, but you need to feel that, and you need to answer yourself with certainty, like, of course it's possible, right? And that is literally all you need. If you believe it is possible, it is not your job to tell yourself or anyone else exactly how it will come to be. That's what manifesting is all about. We set our course for the destination, and we have faith that we will get there. I don't care what may or may not happen in between, because I know when I encounter those things, the bridge of incidents will make sure that I make the right decisions to get where I want to be in the end, to get what I'm manifesting. And just on a side note about that, notice how I didn't say when I encounter those obstacles on the road to getting what I want, because that is a negative limiting belief that we are going to have to encounter many obstacles to get what we want. It's subtle, but it goes to show how you can have many subtle limiting beliefs that are causing your resistance. The road doesn't need to be filled with obstacles to get what you want. It can be a long road, a short road, but it can be a road that is completely free of any serious obstacles at all. So one, ask yourself, can I get it? I don't care how it is possible in this universe, right? Can I get that thing in this universe? Is it in the realm of possibility? The answer is yes, but you need to believe that. And the second part is, erasing the importance you give to it by saying, I really want that, but I'll live without it. That's essentially the attitude you need. By having that attitude, you aren't giving up. You just aren't desperately needing the thing in order to be happy and live your life. For example, I kind of want to get a free coffee from my favorite coffee shop, but I'll live if I don't get it. You don't have the importance toward that manifestation. You want it, but don't really care to the point that you feel, your whole life's riding on that happening or not. Of course, the coffee is easier than manifesting the Ferrari or the home. But, because you could just buy a coffee for a few dollars and that, you basically know that, so you don't care, right? But the feeling needs to be similar. That's kind of where the hard part is. You need to have the faith to make your feeling towards it similar to the level of the coffee, right? No matter what you're trying to manifest. Even if you can't afford the Ferrari or the new home, or you don't have the dream job right now, you must have the authentic feeling of, it would be nice and I will get it, but I'm going to live my life and be happy regardless. This is best seen when trying to manifest a specific person, SP, or love into your life. It almost always comes when you are not looking so hard. You're open to it, but you are living life and not scouring every app, bar, or event to find the one. You're still looking and open, but are not so desperate and needy about it. And so it magically falls into your lap. It gets attracted to you. This is the best example of how the law of attraction works. It literally gets attracted to you and you're not looking so hard for it. It just comes to you. So again, one, is it possible in this universe for me to have this? Taking into account the infinite variations and possibilities of creation. The answer is yes, but you need to believe that. And two, I'm open to receiving it however it comes into my life. And even if by some chance it doesn't happen, I'm going to enjoy my life and I don't really care. Third step I'd say is, I know that the law of attraction works for some people, so I'm not exempt from that, and I know it will work for me too, regardless of doubt. We know that the law of attraction works at this point. Okay, there's no question about that, and hopefully you've had little successes that prove it to you as well. So when you're trying to manifest the big things, you need to remember that the law of attraction works, and it works for other people really well. So that means it must work for you too. For you as well. And so, to sum it all up, I want to leave you with two mantras or affirmations that you can use when you experience moments of doubt. And of course, with any affirmation, you can use this word for word, or you can kind of tailor it and make it your own. But I do know that these will be helpful, and I think that they kind of encompass everything that we've talked about today, about doubt, resistance, and giving your manifestations too much importance. Okay, so you can say to yourself, the first one is, no matter what I feel in this moment, I deeply feel that I can still have what I want. I deeply know that it is possible because every outcome exists. Every variation is possible. I might feel a short instance of doubt or fear that I won't get what I want, and that's okay. In fact, it's normal. But I choose to not give that feeling any power because I deeply know and understand that I have already chosen what I really want, and the fact that I know it can happen means that it will. The second one that you can use is, even though I have fears that it won't happen, I know that it can happen, and that means I am okay and can let that doubt go. And if any doubt comes up, I can comfortably notice it, knowing that it has no power because my mind and soul deeply knows what I want. And that is more powerful, and it is what I truly believe to be possible and true, or I wouldn't have had that desire to begin with. So I hope these two mantras help you. I've had some success thinking this way when doubts have come up, and I know that you will too if you just remember the things that we went over in this talk. And basically have some faith that it has worked for me and it's worked for millions of others, so it must work for you as well. I hope this helps.